What's up, everybody? In honor of Deadpool 2 coming out this weekend, I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite gargoyle geckos and everybody's favorite, Deadpool. Alright, so I love the movie Deadpool, and since it's coming out this weekend, I thought it would be pretty fun to show you guys one of my favorite gargoyle geckos in my collection, Deadpool. This guy, he's a jumper obviously, but everybody loves this guy on social media. Every time I post him on Facebook or Instagram, I get a lot of likes and stuff, and everybody comments on how bright his red is, because it really is, guys. I wish you guys could see this in real life, but the next best thing is watching this video on HD, so I hope that helps. But this is probably the best red that I've ever seen on a gargoyle gecko. Just it's so bold, it's so vibrant, and when he's not in breeding season, because sometimes during the breeding season they could beat up on each other a little bit, and the stress and all that sometimes doesn't pop out their best colors. But when this guy is alone and he just pops a fresh shed, he is one of the most stunning gargoyle geckos I have ever seen. And the bold stripes on the back of him, they stay there. They stay that red whether he's fired up or fired down. The cool thing about the gargoyle geckos, like I've said this a million times before if you've seen my videos, is that whether they're fired up or fired down, they keep these red stripes. Now, I'm a ninja, guys, don't ever forget that. But there's levels to the red stripes, right? So some will be a lot brighter and a lot more intense than other gargoyle geckos. And one thing that I want to tell everybody to keep in mind when getting your gargoyle geckos is that a lot of the red stripes will fade out, not completely obviously, but they can fade out depending on the lines. Deadpool has been this red ever since I got him, and I've had him for about 5 years now, and when I got him he was already an adult. So he is keeping his color very well. I haven't seen too many gargoyle geckos that will keep the reds that well. Most of them tend to fade, but he is, keeping his color very well. And all the females and all the holdbacks I get from this guy tend to have the same color or even better. So in honor of Deadpool, I wanted to show you guys, obviously introduce you guys to him, because I don't think I have done a proper introduction for him. He definitely deserves it. But I also wanted to show you guys some of his holdbacks, some of his offspring that I'm holding back, and his females that he's been paired up with, or that he has been paired up with, so just so you get an idea of how much better this line can get. Deadpool is a complete stud, but it's always very important to pair them up correctly so you can maximize the amount of red that you get in these babies. So these are two of the red striped females that I have them paired up with, just so I could get more babies just like Deadpool, or maybe even better. This female here, she has a red base and solid red stripes running down the back. And this female, she's also a little bit of like a pinkish base. She doesn't fire up as much as this female, but she does have some really nice red stripes as well. And when you see these girls, this is an example of what I was talking about earlier, how the red kind of fades away sometimes. If you look at their cheeks, you could see, usually our red striped gargoyle geckos will have red cheeks here on the sides, but sometimes those reds can fade away. Now, the majority of this red in her back is never gonna fade away, but it does, get lighter or get, more intense depending on what time of year it is, how you keep them, and, what you feed them, and all those different factors. These two females have produced a bunch of really nice red striped gargoyle geckos with Deadpool, but the real cream of the crop Deadpool holdbacks come from this next female I'm about to show you. So this female here, her name is Scarlett Johansson. For those of you guys that follow me on Instagram, she is one of my best productions in terms of gargoyle geckos that I have ever produced. and she is absolutely gorgeous. Her red stripes rival DeadPool's, and she is actually a daughter of one of my other really cool and famous geckos, Count Dracula. Yes, I've had Dracula for years and years and years, and he produces some of the best red striped gargoyle geckos I have ever seen, and she is just one of them. Now, this girl, she's taking the year off, but a lot of people got babies from her last year, and I mean, just look at that. Look at that color on this girl. I love that she always stays kind of unfired, so she has that white base to contrast those bold red stripes. And guys, the coolest thing about gargoyle geckos is that they're just super vibrant. Their eyes, you know, the what's it called, the reticulation in their eyes, and that red stripe never fades away. And that's why I always love to, you know, just try to keep refining the red stripes in the gargoyle geckos, because ultimately I want to make a 6-stripe red stripe gargoyle gecko. You can see she kind of has a little bit of that red lateral stripe that I love, but in theory I want to make that as bold as could be, where to the point that it almost covers the whole body, the red, you know. So that's my main goal. Some people out there have done that with the gargoyle geckos, but I haven't yet. I will get there eventually. Now, this little piggy is one of my holdbacks from DeadPool and Scarlett Johansson last year. And another little detail for you gargoyle gecko enthusiasts is that if you're looking for a really high-end gargoyle gecko, the higher end gargoyle geckos will tend to have the red coloration running down the tail, just like this. And obviously the red stripes will be really, really thick. That's what you're looking for when you're looking to get a high-end gargoyle gecko. This little gargoyle gecko is probably the nicest gargoyle gecko I have ever produced. He is a 6-stripe gargoyle gecko. As you can see, the red follows him all the way down to the tip of the tail. The cheeks are super saturated on his face with red, and the back red stripes are completely covered. Now, this guy's like cream of the crop for when it comes to red stripe gargoyles, and he is a jumper. I can't wait to actually grow this one out. I hope it turns male so I could breed it to a lot of females. But when I had DeadPool in mind and what I could do with his breeding, this is what came up to mind, you know, something that looked like this. And we're just getting started. We are gonna get even better than this, so it's a very exciting time for all these little gargoyle geckos and the red stripes, especially if you keep them and you want to keep them and you want to breed them. Absolutely gorgeous little gecko, and one of my favorite holdbacks. Jesus. Okay. Maybe that would be another of my projects, to try to completely erase the base color on the dorsal pattern. Alright, so one of my favorite gargoyle geckos in my collection has to be my man DeadPool. And DeadPool, he's a little crazy right now, but the red on this gecko and the orange is absolutely unreal. And it almost covers that white line that goes into the, I'll do that over. Red striped. God damn. Now this little piggy.
That boy is good.
After a certain amount of time, you upgrade to a ninja level when you're catching geckos. And not to brag, but I think I'm there. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. Your word of mouth is what keeps my business growing. So if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to share with your friends that are also into gargoyle geckos or crested geckos. And let me know what you guys want to see next. I have a whole bunch of ideas of videos that I want to make, but I also want to hear what you want me to do. Now, as always, feel free to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, add us on Snapchat, and like us on Facebook for all our updates and to see what we're up to on a daily basis. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. I can't tell you that enough. And until next time, you've been watching TikisGeckos.